Things are pretty well sorted out for the 1973 Honda CB750 custom build. Let's get started with it right after the car goes by. Nice rainy day. Well, I've got things well sorted and I'm about ready to start building a CB750. Welcome to Hack a Week. Well, the first thing that's got to happen is everything's got to be laid out here so I can sort through it all and figure out what's what goes with the engine, what goes with the frame, what goes with the electrics, the suspension, all that stuff. It's got to just all be laid out, figure out where it is, and then go from there. So, first thing, all this stuff's got to come out here. Got to move the engine out of the way. There's parts there, there's parts up here, the frame is up there, the tank is up there. This isn't part of the motorcycle. That's a, free leaf blower, future project, maybe on a skateboard this summer. That could be fun. So yeah, gotta get it all out. So here we go. This is phase one. You gotta start somewhere. It's in here, headlight bucket, carburetor mount stuff. This is all the brake stuff. Dual caliper setup up front, dual caliper, dual disc. All the instruments are apart. That's going to be kind of fun. They're all in here, everything's okay. I packed it back away myself, real careful. Let's see, this is just brake parts, the electrics, the main box where the electrics are. Hope this doesn't turn into that weird ass YouTube video where this tips over on me. Gas tank safe. Whew. Let's get that frame down. Ah, yes. We're gonna do some work on you. I want to take a look at some of the weights on this thing before I do anything to it and actually write them down. I plan on doing some modifications to this frame, so knowing how much it weighs when I start will kind of help later on, just so I know, how much I've either taken away or put back, etc. So I get my net yield in the end of all of the things I'll probably be doing to this. About 35 pounds for the naked frame there. Steer tubes. Alright, got a couple of those. That's kind of interesting. Top crown. Signal lights, these are probably not going to be used. Yeah, this is all the itty bitty bits. Chain, things like that. Okay. Two gasket sets. Covers. Engine stuff. Here we go. This is engine goodies. Rear brake, side covers, four pistons. Hello, little pistons. Yes, these are the parts I like. These are the guts. These things look really good. They're barely scuffed. A little scuffing's not uncommon. These are pretty minimal. Nothing scorched. That's good. Nice clean pistons. That is a drain plug, so that's got to stay here. This looks like it's, wrist pins. Maybe. This has got some stuff in it. Okay, some of this is engine, some is not. And so what we're really after right now is to get after the engine stuff. This is what I want to do with the bike essentially. I want to turn it into a really good performing CB frame, solid engine bike. I don't want to do anything radical to it, but I am willing to change the front and rear suspensions, maybe upside down set of forks. Kind of still working on which way I'm going to go with that. The swing arm in the back and the shocks, I know I can improve all that. See, the thing is the 76 CB750F that I used to have, I remember that thing being a little sketchy feeling. You get around 80 miles an hour and it was a little just weird. Every little bump in the road would send it into a little bit of a wobble weirdness, and that's just down a highway. Maybe it was my bike and my frame, whatever, but I want to eliminate that, and I'm sure a lot of it comes from the old forks that had no fork brakes. So you get a lot of the twisting going on and sketchy handling. So that's one thing I want to upgrade, the front end. Here we got carburetors served up for you. For me, actually. Okay, and you. It's like almost like everything I pull out is another episode for this whole project build. This is going to be a lot of fun. Here is a whole mess of nuts and bolts and things, so this is good. These are the things I like finding, because when you start putting stuff back together that you haven't taken apart, it's just a matter of going step by step, looking at what you need to put together, and look around till you find the bolts that look like they go with it. Ugh. That's the dual discs that are going to go on the front. Let's see. This is all... Yeah, there's bearings and stuff in here. Really, this is just all going to be taken out and laid out and labeled, sorted and labeled, for what part of the bike it goes with. So I guess I need to break the bike down into its component parts. Holy crap, I'm going to have to build my way out of this pile I'm creating. Oh yeah, this box. This is every piece of hardware in the bike that's been re-dipped and zinc coated. Every single one. That's pretty awesome. Bags of it here. Look at the springs. Springs kits. Oh my god. This is cool. Well, let's have a look around the shop here. Everything is pretty well unpacked. Some things still in boxes. But here's drivetrain. Got a chain, sprockets there. All the cabling, the brakes, all right here. Dual discs up front. All of the caliper hardware to go with them, and mounting brackets. Brake shoes. 2 different brake shoe holders. That's kind of wild. Instruments all up there. All the front suspension is right there. New fork tubes. Cleaned up and polished tops of the forks. I may go with upside down forks. I have something else. Working on researching that now. Bearings here for everything in the rear. I'm supposing that's probably the steering and swing arm. Maybe something like that. Handlebars that I'm not going to use. Headlight mounts. That's all of the powder coated little bits. Whole bunch of it there, all kinds of it, some wrapped up too. Every little piece of hardware all re-zinced, freshly plated. Oh, there's part of the engine there, that's right, that's an extra cover. And over here, engine parts. And a lot of redundant stuff. He bought up a few different covers here and there from other bikes. And here's the engine. It's pretty much, I think just about everything is gathered together here somewhere to put this engine back together. A couple of these containers have a bunch of bolts and stuff, so that's good. Found all that, very important. And the frame and tank. I'm really thinking I'm gonna stick with that original tank. Be kind of fun to just keep that as one really nice original element of the bike. It's got nice lines, it's just classic. And just leave it alone and not even worry about painting it for a while. I think I'm just gonna get it running with probably its first test run with the tank sitting just like it is. It looks kind of neat. And it's functional. And the frame. There's a mod that can be done. I know there's a few of them out there. There's one by a certain name I forgot now. Read about it on a couple of forums. Some of the guys on the caferacer.net forum. Where this tube comes out from here to here and allows you to take the valve cover off without taking the engine out of the frame. That would be handy. And then I'm just going to look over this frame a whole lot. There's really no triangulation going on in some of these parallel lines here. Wouldn't hurt a bit to add some of that maybe across here. give a little less flex back in this area, which would equate to less flex down in here, because if this moves, this certainly is going to move too, and there's a tire in the way here, so you can't do any X bracing. But there may be a little room for improvement there. Some of this stuff down here that's sort of gusseted already, I think there could be some improvements on that, especially right in this area right here. Maybe just a nice rounded gusset right there, a couple of holes punched in it, keep it light. And then see what's up with rear sets where they're going to mount and all that. Not going to worry about messing with the hoop and cutting it into a hoop thing just for the sake of friggin' doing a hoop thing. I don't know if I even need to do that yet. I won't know for a long time, so I'm not going to cut it. I'm not going to chop anything up yet. First thing is this right here, this beauty, this engine. So what I'm going to do now is categorize all this stuff. Try to sort it out the best I can over the next several hours. Not going to bore you with all of that. And when we come back, we'll get started on seeing what's up with this here 750cc engine. All this hardware is laid out in bags now. I need to label the bags, and then I'll catalog them here in my logbook and take a picture of them, and then save that picture of the numbered bag. And then when I go to put all this stuff together, I'll be able to look at the picture and hopefully find the part that I need, and then go reference that in the box, pull it out, instead of having to paw and dig through all kinds of stuff. It's really going to be worth doing all of this. And then boxes as well, bags and boxes, everything photographed and documented. So start labeling some bags now. Just sorting through this box of OEM parts now, all kinds of brand new stuff here, all the rubber fixtures, everything, and just came across these. Pretty cool. 2 brand new ones. Sweet. We'll put those up in the toolbox. Well, here it is, the single overhead cam 750cc power plant. Honda made in the 70s. I owned one of these as a 76 CB750F. That was a little bit different bike than this one, but more or less an engine like this. So let's look at the layers of everything that's built here. This is partially assembled in that the case halves still aren't bolted together. Everything is in here, and the transmission and crankshaft, all that. We can just start pulling it apart because I didn't bolt anything together. It was all in pieces when I picked the bike up. Valve cover. Up here we would have the camshaft mounted. That's moving all of the intake and exhaust cams as the engine rotates so it can breathe. And the head, let's pull this off. Oh, it's fighting me, it is. I really hate it when I get them cocked sideways like this. Pull as evenly as we can. Ha! That's what I should have done in the first place. $500 worth of machine work was done on this by M. Reich. Is that the way you pronounce that guy's name? I've heard that that's the go-to guy for the 750 stuff, but yep. Had like a stage 1 job done on it, I guess. So that is pretty sweet. Let's put that aside safely. This is the cylinders. Again, all mounted together. It's one of those days in the shop here where there's dew on everything. Strange weather. This is all honed and ready for assembly. I mean, it's a really nice honing job. Looks really sweet. I got to clean up a little tiny bit of surface rust way down here on the spigot end. And then the top half of the case. And this winter, a little bit of dew formed in here. Couldn't do too much about it. I have a heater. That sucks. Got a little bit of surface rust on some things. It's not terrible, but I need to get it out of there. So we'll pull this off and get inside the case. A little bit of persuading with a wood block and a hammer, and things loosened up there. So here it is. Output shaft right there under my right thumb on the top part of the case. And here's the crankshaft. Primary chains back to the main shaft and the transmission.
And when you're inside here, you'll look at things and you go, oh, okay, so that's how a motorcycle shifts. It makes sense real quick. Over here, there's a cam that rotates and moves the gears through all of the gearing ratios. And down below, there's another shift fork. 2 below and 1 above. So that's pretty much what happens there. You're either engaging or disengaging with the main shaft these gears. Well, this is what all of that boiled down to. Here's the engine and all the pieces that go with it. Probably some over there in the boxes, but because I documented everything, I should be able to find it all without too much difficulty. Next video, I'll actually be turning on wrenches and tightening bolts and putting things together permanently. And we will be moving along with the engine build on this 73 Honda CB750. Next weekend, though, I'm going to be at the Eurobike in Raleigh, the Eurobike motorcycle meet. It is going to be pretty cool, I think. It's centered around Euro bikes, but also cafe racers inspired by European cafe racers, which is where it all started, right? So I'll be up there with the Sabre. So if you're around the area in Raleigh, say hi. But anyway, I'll be back after that working on this thing. So we'll take a little break, go to a bike fest, maybe a little onboard ride footage on the way there and back. And then we'll get back to work on the CB750. I'm excited. This is going to be a great bike. Going to be lots of really cool stuff happening to it. So, till next time.